Hello and welcome to Psychology in Seattle. I'm your host, Kirk, licensed therapist.
And I'm Humberto Castañeda. I'm a professional puppeteer.
You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, and you can also email us at contact@psychologyinseattle.com. We always love hearing from our viewers and our listeners.
Well, you do.
I do, yeah. Well, if you have good comments, I love hearing from you.
I like the bad comments.
I know you do. Today we're filming at where I teach, Antioch University, Seattle, and we have a very special guest with us today, my friend and colleague Bobbi Kidder, chair of the drama therapy specialization. She is going to explain what drama therapy is, and she's going to demonstrate it for us. Oh. Welcome to the podcast, Bobbi.
Thank you. The official definition of it is that it is the intentional use of theater processes to promote personal integration and healing. Come over here and help me out. So what do you think drama therapy is? I mean,
Who are
these guys?
These guys, this is Wilder, Nettie Heath, and this is Adam Davis.
And they're students in your program,
They
right?
are.
So what is drama therapy to you guys?
It's a tool to enhance therapy by getting people on their feet and embodying their emotions and having their body and mind connected.
Rather than just talking about their feelings, they can actually embody them. And rather than talking about their experiences, they can act them out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This game is called What Are You Doing? And so what I'm going to ask you to do is watch me do this activity, okay? And then you're going to ask me what I'm doing, okay?
Bobbi, what are you doing?
I'm flying a kite. And what I want you to do is fly the kite, okay? So you'll do what I say I'm doing, and we'll just keep changing and doing, and okay. Hey, Adam, what are you doing?
I am brushing my teeth.
Okay.
Bobbi, what are you doing?
I am hurling a pizza in the air, the pizza dough to make a pizza. So while this game is usually played with a group quite successfully, it can be played one-on-one for hours. I've done it. So you can do mutual storytelling as well, so where you might have something where the three of us are going to pass a story around, and we're going to start by saying, you know, once upon a time there was a great big bear.
And that great big bear traveled across the land in droves.
And then one day, as the bear was traveling across the world, he discovered a small woodland creature.
And the small woodland creature all of a sudden exploded into a huge butterfly with fangs.
And when that huge butterfly with fangs started flying, all of a sudden he noticed that he had a lot of power over the woodland creatures.
And so the bear took notice of that bird with the fangs and became very curious about who he was.
The bear spent time in personal reflection, thinking about this fanged butterfly, so beautiful yet so dangerous.
And as the bear was reflecting, the fanged butterfly crashed into the ground and got hurt.
So there you go, and there we'll leave the fanged butterfly. But
As we were doing this, I noticed myself thinking, okay, I gotta say something cool. And then I can imagine that if you start doing it for a while, then you might forget to do something cool and just start doing it,
which is
right?
lovely.
Right?
That's when the magic happens.
Is that what you're trying to go towards?
Yes.
Like kind of more free flowing,
Yes.
not thinking.
Sometimes when you aren't prepared, that's when that magic thing comes out that shows you a little bit of yourself.
Well, what kind of thing? Just give us an example.
I might have said to Humberto, so this butterfly has fangs.
Right.
So what? What's that about? That's an interesting choice. This beautiful butterfly. You made that clear.
Well, it could either be
Fangs.
because I've been watching Game of Thrones, and or it could be like the beauty mixed with the threat, right?
So within a game like this, or like an improv game like this, there's a lot of projection that can happen, and sometimes you're projecting your day residue, and sometimes you're projecting some sort of metaphor that you want to explore. I've done this activity with young kids, and there's some kids when playing this activity who every single time it gets to them, the animal will get knocked down or get bullied, or a parent will make fun of him. And it's those recurring themes you see in this sort of activity show you that that's something this kid is interacting with on a regular basis and doesn't have necessarily an avenue to talk about it except through something that's a game. If you show them ink blots, you're analyzing them.
Right.
And then a lot of other things happen. But if you can really get somebody to be in the moment and let whatever that thing is come out, some of their defenses break away too.
my own style of therapy is that if something like that happened, I might not necessarily need to talk with them directly about it, that through the symbolism and through the acting out, that healing could occur without having to cognitively call it, ooh, this is related to the trauma I went through, that sort of thing. Or it might spark an actual conversation about that trauma and directly talk about it. Is that what you guys are talking about?
Yes. Do you tend to pause in moments and say, wait, let's talk about this?
So if your goal is to explore some deep core issues, you might stop in the middle of a story and talk about some of the imagery. But a lot of times drama therapy can just be about exploration and expression. And so what you want in those moments is for the energy to continue and for everyone to participate and for everyone to share, because what you tell in your story will imprint on me, and what I tell in my story will imprint on you. And in this way, the relationships get built.
It seems like it would also be good for social skill building. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. For conflict resolution, social skill building, interpersonal communication skills, it's really valuable to get people doing some behavioral rehearsal and doing some things where they're laughing together.
Yeah.
So I have one activity that is exactly about this.
Cool.
So I'm just gonna ask you guys just spontaneously in a group to create the title of this photograph is Gone Fishing. Cool. All right. Good.
Well, what was I doing there?
I thought that you were afraid about the fish.
I could. That's interesting. I thought I was playing a harmonica, actually.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad we asked.
Or I was eating a fish raw.
So this activity that I often do is think of a time, each of you, in which you just felt really successful. You really felt like a winner.
Sure.
Okay. So what would happen in this, and I'll play too, is that you direct this photograph.
Oh, okay,
You tell us somebody's going to play the
So
role
you
of
pick
you.
someone to. Okay. All right. You're the alarm clock,
Okay. Good.
but you're off. You haven't been even turned on. You are the sun, and I can barely see you. We barely cannot see you right now. And you are me. Your alarm wasn't set. The sun's barely out, and actually you woke up early, and so the rest of your day was actually great. You need to look like you just woke up early and you're surprised because it's barely coming, sun's barely coming out, and the alarm wasn't even on. No, you're happier. You're happier. Yes.
Perfect. And maybe many of the things are going to be the day I graduated from high school or the day my child was born or whatever. But there will be some really unusual things that people will find. And everybody shares their moment and everybody's laughing and everybody's, getting to know each other and getting to know what matters to each other. And so it's a really good warm up for looking at our communication issues, because when you know what matters most to you, then you can look at those other issues more successfully.
As I'm thinking about it, so this whole week I haven't been getting good sleep. I haven't been getting good sleep for the last year, and it's it'll be intermittent, right? So sleep right now is a big theme in my life.
Yeah.
So waking up early is actually has value.
What I would have done in that exercise as well was had you not only be the sculptor and tell us what to be, but also use your body to show us what shape you wanted us to be in.
Interesting.
Which would give you the opportunity to, through me, you could take that shape first. So if you would show me what you look like when you're excited about your morning, then you get to internalize that with bodily memory.
Okay.
Hopefully also to pull some of that out again too.
Right, and that's interesting.
And you could also take it a step further too by having each member of the picture have a line to say.
You might find that your relationship with your alarm clock is way more complex than you think. What would your alarm clock say to you if it could talk? The day that you don't need it.
The day I don't need it,
What would it say? What would you say back?
well, it would have unknowingly said something an hour before I needed it.
But I could totally see how that would be valuable, because the alarm clock is a symbol of some part of you, right? It's like
Yes.
the superego. It's something that's telling
yeah.
you what to do. It's on your back.
And I've had a hate relationship with alarm clocks in my entire life. So nothing personal against you.
I'm all right with that.
There's an important process of de-rolling we have to do now as well.
Shake it off.
If Bobbi takes on your most hated shape, then you have to do something by pointing at her and say, "You are Bobbi. You are no longer that alarm clock."
You are Bobbi. You're no longer that alarm clock. I release you.
Release him from being the sun,
I release you from being the sun.
and I can be myself
And
again.
you are now yourself.
Thank you.
So interesting. What's this? What's that about?
It's called de-rolling.
De-rolling.
That's so Bobbi can come back to herself, and especially if you take the scene farther where there is real antagonism playing out, be it with an alarm clock or not. Bobbi and you can come back to neutral, back to having a relationship that's built in this room, not in the scene that just
Because it can get very emotional.
And you can just carry stuff with you.
There are things that get really emotional in the throes of some of the trauma work that gets done, and so if people are playing the roles or psychodrama, people are playing the roles of other people, then it needs to be shaken off. And let's have you set something in motion that looks like we really are angry. We have a problem with our anger as brothers. Okay, so that's your moment here. It's
Okay,
gonna be
as a sculpture?
As a sculpture.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, the thing that I like to do with teenagers is to say, what is one thing that can change in this picture that will change it entirely? All right, just a little thing changed. And what does that change? Umberto, what do you see that's changed here?
Now he has opened a perpendicular possibility, at least.
If you all want something to work out, the worst thing that can happen is that you turn away forever. If you change slightly, then that possibility is removed for a moment. So that change, that one change. And so in conflict resolution, I think that's another use of the tableau that can be really powerful.
It was hard for me to keep the same anger and frustration and silhouette that I had because he had made that small offer.
Exactly.
There was something disarming, and I had to remind myself, oh, there's only one thing changing. And I had to try to go back up there, but it was much harder.
So sometimes it's important for people to know that the smallest of things can shift the energy in a big way.
Right.
So, yeah.
How about another demonstration?
We're going to ask Adam and Wilder and Umberto to pick a mask that might intrigue them for whatever reason. Maybe there.
All right. So I can pick any mask?
Any mask.
Do I have to say why, or you just...
You will be at some
Okay.
point saying why, but for now it's just
Am I supposed to
visceral.
think about it, or
Sometimes you do want to think a little bit, sometimes you want to just pick it because, hey, that's the one I know.
Okay. All right. I'll go with this.
All right. Take that mask face that you see and put it into your body as well, like this is. This is like, yeah. And you are?
Napoleon.
Napoleon, thank you. And you are?
Sam!
It's okay. And over here?
Monsieur Harry.
Monsieur Harry. All right. And if you can tell me, what is the emotion that you are feeling most strongly today? And it's showing on your face.
Disgust.
Disgust. Thank you. Thank you.
Disgruntled!
Disgruntled. Sam is disgruntled. And Napoleon?
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety. All right. This is the curbside where you wait for the number 18 bus. It's at least 10 minutes late already, and who knows how much later it's going to be. What's a word or a phrase that's going to describe your feeling about the lateness of this bus?
I'm pissed off!
All right, all right.
Indecision.
You don't know what to think. You are so full of anxiety that you don't know what to think. And
What kind of bus driver is late?
is pissed off something you are quite a bit there, Sam?
No!
You are very pissed off.
Never.
Never pissed off, but just today?
Things are always terrible.
It's the things that are terrible.
Yes.
So how can you help being a little pissed off?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're just reacting to what is.
Exactly.
All right, which is today.
This bus, and this guy keeps fidgeting.
All right, and what about the guy down there?
I didn't notice him until just, thanks a lot.
All right, now you're mad at him too.
I'm mad at you for pointing him out.
All right, good.
Bobbi, I could see how this would be interesting in that it gives someone permission to really go down an emotional road that they might not feel that they have permission normally. If someone had difficulty with anger normally,
Oh, that's well said, yeah.
they would really just go for it and let out a lot of emotion.
Yes, absolutely. I think that some of us, especially in our daily lives, aren't allowed to show emotions, especially ones that are dangerous and scary like anger, especially in a culture like Seattle has, I feel, where emotions the plateaus are pretty low. We're not allowed to show extremes of anger or sadness. So when you're given the chance to be Sam, this guy's pissed off that the bus is late. Adam's never pissed off that the bus is late, but it's nice to be able to put this mask on and scream at that bus and yell at that guy. Oh.
A lot of times I'll see people take off the mask and go, whoa. They picked it and then it became them.
And some people who work with masks will tell stories about how they will take a mask from workshop to workshop, and that the same mask will somehow have some of the same characteristics. There's a lot of mystical beliefs around masks.
So when they put on the mask, something happens to them. The past that has been infused in the mask comes back into them?
Right. For whatever reason, when different people in different parts of the world put on that same mask, there will be some of the same character notes that come out for whatever reason. It's just, and so there's stories about them doing the exact same thing, having the exact same interactions with other masks, that masks will have their own stories of antagonism between them that will play out no matter where those masks are or who puts them on. It's kind of cool.
So there's narrative therapy, and you know about narrative therapy, and there's an arm of drama therapy called narradrama that fundamentally looks at the notion that when there's a problem, the problem is the problem, not the person. And so we can externalize, which is one of our big words in drama therapy, externalize. This puppet is mad. His name is Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's mad. And so, he's going to just tell you a little bit about how he feels. How he feels. Yeah, how he's feeling.
Yeah, so I'm angry all the time because people always piss me off. Well, maybe it's something you could work on. Shut up! What? You shut up! No, hold on. Puppet, Mad Max, I think we should, I don't know what I'm doing, Bob. I'm so sorry. I have no idea.
Tell Adam a little bit about why you were angry when you got up this morning.
The puppet's telling
puppet's
me
gonna tell you that.
why I'm angry.
Why he was angry when he got up this morning.
I was angry because I had left all my homework to do before class today, and, well, I slept in. And I blame myself, as I should have set my alarm clock and I thought I could handle it, but I didn't. I slept in, and then I had to do all the damn homework and then go to class. I skipped lunch, and I'm hungry.
So Adam, can you?
That's a true story.
The puppet containing the problem gives that aesthetic distance to the client, so that it's not so scary to reveal.
So in Gestalt therapy, or they've popularized it to some extent, we might do an empty chair or something where we have an embodiment of the self. So it might be like your irresponsible side, or the side that doesn't want to do things on time and wants to sleep in or something, and so you put that part of yourself maybe into the puppet, I'm guessing, and have a conversation with that side of yourself. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I mean, I imagine a lot of people might be like very self-conscious and like, I don't know what to do with this.
That's why we have
I don't have
levels.
anything to say.
So we always start out with
It is
something
freaky.
that's like the, what are you doing? It's something it's called level 1. It's like games that anybody can play, and then you move it a little bit deeper.
Jacob Moreno, who developed psychodrama, said that there's no such thing as a resistant client, just an insufficient warm-up. And so that's a lot of what we
like
try
sex.
to do. I guess, yes.
There you
There's
go.
no such thing as bad sex, just not enough
Foreplay.
Right. I don't even know the words, so what am I talking about?
So sometimes, Bobbi, you and I are teaching classes, and we're right next to each other. And one time I was teaching a class, and I hear, fuck you, or no, some kind of...
That was you, too?
I just hear this screaming of the F word over and over and over again. At first I thought, oh, what's going on? And then I thought, oh, it must be one of Bobbi's classes. So that was you?
That was me. That was me enacting a scene based on a prompt from Bobbi where we got in partners. We just made up scenes based on prompts. And that one was the story of someone who was an alcoholic who got fired. And so I was disgruntledly being fired and yelling at everyone, and all my former coworkers and my boss. And that day, that role particularly, it felt very salient to me. So I definitely indulged, and I apologize that I disrupted your class.
No, far be it for me to interfere with you guys' education.
With their interference.
So these are those brothers again. The problem is that these two guys are actually roommates now. A lot of difficulty. So what word or a phrase to describe the nature of your conflict as you see it?
It's always telling me what to do.
Okay, same for you. What's a word or a phrase to describe how you see it?
He's always messing things up in the house.
So describe a recent conflict that, that you've had with your brother.
Well, I come home from school and I go to sit my backpack down. There are dirty dishes all over the couch, on the couch. Not like on the floor, not on the table, right on the couch. And he's just sitting there playing video games.
I mean, you don't ever say, "Hey, why don't you put your dishes away?" You say, "What the hell? There's always dishes everywhere, and you put them away and stop that all the time," like Dad.
Let's play a little game of tug of war. We have an imaginary rope, but I want you to fully feel the rope in your hands. Let's go ahead and get a good 5 feet distance between the two of you.
Can I pause just for a second
Sure.
and ask you, are these two actual brothers in real life, or are they, what are they? Are they role-playing brothers, or are you saying they're actual brothers?
In real life, they're not.
I've lost touch with reality.
Welcome to drama therapy.
Yeah, really. Well, I was just,
Like, are you demonstrating, like, say you had two brothers in therapy that were fighting?
Yes.
I see.
No, this is the third level of the dream.
So you're
I'll wake up in this level.
So you're we're role-playing role players.
Fraction of a
right.
second.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
3 hours.
Wow, now I'm really scared.
I got it.
Good.
Action.
So they're back and they are playing the roles of brothers who are in this really kind of, what's the word, impasse. All right, so let's go. All right, one. Oh, you guys are really putting your heart into it. Okay, two. Yeah, 2 is winning a little bit. Yeah, okay. You know what it's like. Okay, one is winning. Whoa. All right, yeah, okay. Now, pause. One is going to win this game. All right. One. All right, and yeah. So there's just a little something that happens when energy is expended. And that's what drama therapy does. It brings a conflict or a situation on its feet. This is just a fugitive moment of compassion, as Howard Zinn would have said, but, because they'll fight again. But there was just that moment when they remembered that there's something else between them as well, and they had fun.
I see. So it changes their real conflict into a game that represents their conflict.
Right. So in conclusion, for our time with you, I wanted to just say some of the places, we're going to kind of bat it back and forth like a tennis match, of some places where drama therapy happens. So I'm going to start with schools.
Sorry, what?
Where do drama therapists practice? Where does drama therapy
Oh,
happen?
yeah. At schools, homeless shelters,
Recovery clinics.
Prisons.
domestic violence survivors,
Hospice care.
Veterans returning.
elders,
Social skills groups.
At the workplace.
Right.
I like that I can, as a drama therapist, utilize my interest in theater to be able to help people.
I mean, I've worked with kids in a lot of settings, and I've worked as a drama teacher for many, many years. And so this is the next step of being able to point to the things that I've known were happening the whole time. When you teach a kid theater, he's developing the same skills we're talking about tonight, but in a drama therapy framework, you can actually point to those things, those skill sets, the perspective, the aesthetic distance, and really hone in on those skills that will help them for the rest of their lives.
So what do you think of it?
I like it because I like drama. I like pretending things. I think I would want follow-up for myself, like meaning I would like to do this and then go and sit down and talk about, well, what does this mean and why did I do this? And partially because I like talking. So I actually, my favorite one was the setting up of the scenes. And like, I'd like to take that further. You were saying you like directing, and like, I actually imagine directing, maybe getting into writing plays just to act out your issues with other people.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you like Quentin Tarantino has like purged a lot of his, madness. Like I said, I literally imagine a whole little play acting out where I'm like, yep, that's my life. So that's interesting.
Would it be therapeutic to do that, or would it just be fun?
At the very least, it's a different way to talk about it without literally talking about it. So that
That's the core
Yeah.
reason that brought me to drama therapy. I mean, from looking at psychology versus talk therapy, what drama therapy lets you do is put action and image where words might not be successful, especially with people who might not have the culture of talking about things. I mean, in therapy, of course, we hope that everybody can really explain what their feelings are, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes the only way to explain it is by putting it into your body and really showing what, if you're my dad and you're me, this is what it feels like, and I would sculpt you to, and then I would say that's exactly what it feels like. So much of what, when we're experiencing challenges in our lives, we can't see it. We are so wrapped up in it that we see little pieces of it, but not how the system works. So one of the things that we can do with drama therapy is put it all out there. We call that aesthetic distance. So I can see things, I can have some perspective, and I can see systems at play.
And it is very powerful. And having directed a teen theater troupe for 14 years, so I saw lots of different teenagers do monologues about issues going on in their lives. And when you repeat it to different audiences, many times the intensity of those even traumatic situations starts to become less of a trigger.
When I was in therapy, personal therapy, one of the things that I did a few times was the whole chair thing you were mentioning, Honda, where you have put a little doll on the chair and you talk to it and stuff happens. And I actually wasn't very receptive at first. We did actually end up having some good conversations with it, but it was nowhere near as engaging as like doing it with real human beings for obvious reasons. And not only that, because when it's me and the doll, it's me and me, right? And of course that's its own thing, but I don't get to step away for a second and be like, that's another human, and that's what a human looks like when they do that, you know? So I'm not saying that the chair exercise isn't valuable, but for me, I actually found this one immediately more engaging and more, more dynamic and more spontaneous, because other people are improvising on my suggestions and things.
In drama therapy, we get to co-create our stories, so that whatever you put out there, I get to take it, and just me taking it on changes it just slightly, so that you can see it differently.
Yeah.
And in all of these stories, it's so important that we recognize that the stories are never fixed, that they can always be changed, that they can always be influenced by the people around us. And so it's that relational component that I think sometimes is missing from that empty chair exercise. And that's why I connect to this work as well, because I can be seen more thoroughly through someone else's eyes than I can see myself.
Oh, do you have vision problems?
Yeah, I do.
So thank you, Wilder, for joining us. Adam, thank you for joining us. Bobbi, thanks. Oh, the sun is like setting behind you.
Oh, that's so
It
lovely.
looks great. Bobbi is chair of the drama therapy specialization at Antioch University, Seattle, my coworker and colleague and friend. All right, that does it for another episode of Psychology in Seattle. Thanks for joining us. Please take care of yourself.
Bye. All right.
Yay!